thanks so much for being here. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to improve your strumming on the guitar. Okay, we're going to learn a few strumming patterns that are going to help you out with strumming, chords, and developing timing. Okay, now one thing that I can't emphasize enough is developing timing. I can't tell you how many times I've come across guitar players who know how to play chords and songs and stuff, but their timing is just not there. They just have not worked on their timing. It's very, very important to do that, okay? Sometimes these fundamentals seem like they're kind of boring to do, but in the long run, they're gonna help you out the most, okay? So don't overlook the fundamentals, all right? So the first thing that we wanna do is we wanna work on quarter strums, okay? This is just a simple strumming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called quarter note strum, okay? And I would recommend counting too as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I know it seems very mundane to be doing this, but I'm telling you, if you get this into your system, it's going to help you out tremendously, okay? In the long run, all right? So just quarter note strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second one that you want to do is called eighth notes, which is basically 2 quarter notes. And when we do these, instead of going 1 like this, we're going to come up. So an eighth note count is like a 1 and. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. So what we're going to do is we're going to strum down on the 1 and back up on the and. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1 and. And it's always good to count, like I was saying. I know it sounds a little mundane, but if you don't want to do it out loud, just do it in your head. It doesn't matter how you do it, just do it, okay? 1 and 2 and once you get it down, you can speed it up a little bit if you like. But just make sure that you stay steady. It doesn't really matter what your timing is, just make sure it's not slow and then fast and slow and fast and stuff like that, because that's one thing where a metronome comes in real handy, is by giving a metronome or a drum beat or something like that and matching. That's why you see a lot of guys like tap their feet when they're playing the acoustic guitar to just keep that meter going, okay? Okay, so once again, eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is helping develop our picking hand, okay? The third thing that we want to work on is triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you can see how that just changes the rhythm, okay? It changes the strumming pattern, changes the rhythm, because remember, this hand right here holds the chords, okay? So your fretboard hand is the one that forms the chords and creates the chord progression, and then your picking hand is what creates the rhythm through either strumming or picking the strings individually, okay? So you just got to try to get that together, okay? Get that together. Those motor skills of two hands working together in harmony with each other. All right. So far we've got our quarter note strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our eighth note strum. 2 of them tied together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then our triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. And you can clearly see how that changes the rhythm. Okay, so for instance, let's say we had a chord progression of just G, C, and D. And we're going to just strum quarter notes. Let's say 4 on each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's say we do triplets. So that's the thing that you really want to master, is those timing values, okay? Those timing sequences, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, and then you can kind of put them together in combinations, like you could go down, down, up, down, something like that. And you want to master strumming up as well, okay? So if you're having a problem with strumming upwards, because I remember some people have told me that they have a hard time strumming up, so what I'll tell them is strum up. Practice your up strumming like this. So if you're having a problem strumming up, you know, down is usually pretty easy. You usually can get that. It's strumming back up that kind of is the problem for some people. So if that's the case, then just keep doing this over and over again. Get that muscle memory working, because a lot of it's just the, you know, the muscle memory, just the repetition of doing over and over and over again, okay? And so then once you get this down, then you can add this. And then try to do the both. And then try to change it up a little bit. Maybe a down, down, up, down, or down, down, up, down, down. See how that just changes the rhythm when you're just the combination of up and down. Another thing that you want to do too is keep your wrist loose, okay? If you notice my hand, my whole arm isn't doing this, okay? It's my wrist is kind of staying loose. Your wrist, you want your wrist to stay loose from your arm, okay? Because everything's in the wrist in music. When you play instruments, it doesn't matter if you're playing the piano, the guitar, saxophone, whatever it is, it's all in the wrist. So make sure to focus on that. Make sure that your arm isn't staying rigid like this. Make sure it's just staying loose and comfortable. Make sure it's nice and comfortable. Relax. Don't get tensed up or anything like that. Just relax. Take it easy, have some fun with it, okay? And then you have 16 notes, which is just 2 eighth notes tied together. 1 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. Now if you listen to those strum patterns, you know, if you take out the count, you can tell it almost sounds like I'm playing some songs. And as you listen to songs, you're going to hear these strumming patterns, and you're going to say, oh yeah, he is just, you know, doing this on that, or he is, or he or she, doesn't matter who they are, but are doing this, you know. And it's a lot of it's just a combination of it. One thing that works really well with a lot of songs is this strumming pattern of a down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. Strumming pattern right there. So I would highly recommend working with that because it works with a lot of songs. I'm just kind of going with G, but let's say I was going to do D, C, and G, or maybe C9, this chord right here, C9, this is a good one, and then we'll play the G here, so it'd be like a... I'm just doing that down, down, up, up, down. Just that simple strumming pattern, but a lot of it's just getting these notes down, these quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, you know. That's another song right there. But you can tell the strumming pattern changed a little bit on that one, and it's what affects the rhythm. You can know all the chords you want, but you got to have the rhythm and the picking hand down. So always remember that when you're watching guitar players play, it's not, you know, a lot of times you watch this hand, what chords they're playing, you know, how they're doing stuff with this hand, which is important too, but don't overlook what the picking hand is doing, because the picking hand is creating the rhythm, okay? Very, very important. All right, so there we have it. How to get better at strumming the acoustic guitar. So a few pointers there. Number one, your quarter notes, your eighth notes, triplets, and sixteenths. And if you just focus on those and get them down individually and then do combinations of them, I guarantee you're going to strumming patterns, and your strumming and your timing is going to get a lot better. But you got to count, okay? Make sure you count, because I can't emphasize that enough. So many people just don't count and then try to play with them, and their timing is way off from yours. You know, they're just like, you know, so if you're going to play with people, maybe some friends, some family, whoever, you know, you've got to have good timing, and this is the kind of thing that you need to work on, okay? Now, if you'd like to learn more about how to play the acoustic guitar, maybe just getting started, I'd recommend you check out my book that I authored. It's one right here called Learn to Play Acoustic Guitar. Okay, I authored. It's a method book for beginners, and as you can see, it's got quite a bit of pages here. And it's got diagrams. I've got some photos in here. I've got chord diagrams in here. There's tablature for, you know, easy musical notation that's easy to learn. I tell you how to read it and things like that. And let's see, what are some of the things that it teaches here? All right, let's see. All right, so getting started, that's, you know, how to hold the guitar, how to get in tune, how to hold your guitar pick, things like that. Your first chords, so some basic fundamentals. We've also got, you know, like how to create rhythm with strumming. So we got creating rhythm, strumming chords, arpeggiating chords, finger style picking, using a capo, which is a great thing. We'll go into some lessons on that later on, because the capo can do a lot of cool stuff there. How to play seventh chords, those are real popular. Chord embellishments like your fourth, your sixth, your seventh, your 11th, 9th, things like that. Timing and progressions, like what I was just telling you here, quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets. You know, some finger exercises, switching chords easier, practice habits, all kinds of really good stuff to help you out with your guitar playing. If you want to check this book out, I'll leave a link below. You can find it on Amazon, and on my website I have it both in paperback and digital format. Now, that's how I started a long time ago before the internet. Now with the internet you got YouTube and videos like this, and you can learn really great like that. But back then you didn't have that stuff before the internet, so a lot of times you'd either learn from a friend or something, or you know, you'd maybe get a DVD or something when those were popular. But even before then, books. I always just seem to find solace in books. I like books because they get you a chance to go at your own pace, and you can do whenever is good for you. These are lesson by lesson, so you just one lesson and they build on each other, and before you know it, you're making some really good progress. So check that out if you like. Be sure to like the video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to answer them, and be sure to practice every day. That's very, very important. Keep practicing, working on your timing. Make sure to count, and until our next lesson, take care.